Imagine sitting in a beautiful mansion in San Francisco, staring straight out at the Golden Gate Bridge, and one of the most powerful investors in the world offers you over $1 billion for a company you started just 3.5 years ago. For almost anyone on Earth, that is an immediate yes. You take the money, you buy an island, and you retire. But Jack Zhang is not most people. When Stripe came knocking with a $1.2 billion buyout offer for Airwallex back in 2018, Zhang actually said yes at first. The math was insane. His company only had $2 million in annualized revenue, making the offer a 600 times multiple. He walked around the city for 2 weeks, completely restless. Then, he flew 8,000 miles back home to Melbourne, looked at the unfinished plans on his whiteboard, and changed his mind. He realized he was only just getting a taste of what it meant to be an entrepreneur. Fast forward to today, and that decision looks like an absolute masterclass in long-term vision. Airwallex is now pulling in over $1.3 billion in annualized revenue, growing at 85% year-over-year, and processing nearly $300 billion in transactions. Jack Zhang's story is incredible. He moved to Australia from China at 15 without his parents, barely spoke English, and worked 4 jobs including night shifts at a gas station and picking lemons just to pay for his computer science degree. After starting 10 different businesses, from importing wine to running a burger chain, he found the pain point that created Airwallex. He was running a coffee shop and trying to pay suppliers in Brazil and Indonesia, but the money kept getting frozen by intermediary banks enforcing international sanctions. He decided to bypass the outdated system and build his own global money movement network. The strategy he chose is what he calls the path of maximum resistance. Instead of piggybacking on other systems, Airwallex spent years acquiring almost 90 financial licenses across 50 markets. In Japan alone, it took them 7 years just to get the right license. In some countries, they had to buy dead shell companies just to take over their central bank integration. Zhang famously noted that you cannot just vibe code a connection to Mexico's central bank. You need biometric security clearance just to enter the room. But this brutal process built an unbreachable fortress. Because Airwallex holds the actual funds instead of just processing them like Stripe, companies can avoid the 2 to 3% conversion fees when moving money globally. Now, the two giants are on a collision course. Stripe is pushing internationally, and Airwallex is entering the United States market. Stripe is currently valued at $159 billion after processing $1.9 trillion in 2025. Airwallex is valued at $8 billion, but the revenue gap is closing incredibly fast. Zhang is playing the long game, aiming for $20 billion in annual revenue by 2030 and 1 million customers. He knows the Airwallex brand is not as famous as Stripe among developers yet, but with a massive new suite of artificial intelligence-powered autonomous finance agents rolling out, he believes the decade of proprietary financial data they own will be impossible for anyone to replicate. The war for the global financial infrastructure has officially begun.